everybody, it's Monica with Fit Eats Coaching. Welcome back to 12 Days of Fitmas. Today we're going to build strength, burn fat, and tone the entire body with just dumbbells. So stand with your feet the width of your mat and come down into a squat and then press those dumbbells overhead. Notice how I'm keeping a very straight back and I'm just going at a steady tempo. We're going to work for 30 seconds and then we're going to go immediately into the next exercise. So just choose a pace that feels nice for you. Squat down as far as your body allows and keep your back nice and straight the entire time. After you do 30 seconds of work, you're gonna set your dumbbells down and we're going into a martial arts squat, which is really a single leg squat that really burns a lot of fat and calories and strengthens the legs a lot more. So you're alternating that leg back, and notice how I'm really straining that leg out and tapping that floor with my fingertips. Now if that's a little bit too hard, you can always just aim your hand to the thigh, but definitely try and stay low in that squat. After 30 seconds of that, you're going right into that ballet squat, lifting those heels as you're drop down in that squat. Arms are out to the sides, palms facing the ceiling so that you're opening up through the chest and really squeezing those back muscles and getting a little bit of nice posture work there. This is where it's really going to start to burn. You've been working for almost 90 seconds here, so kind of play around with your hand positions to distract yourself. You're going to get through this if you have the right mindset, and then you're going to take a break for 30 seconds. During your break, you can drink some water. You can walk around, shake it out. You can even stretch, but keep your eye on the clock because you don't want to go past that 30 seconds. After you've had a little bit of a break, come down to the hands and knees and start preparing for your next 3 exercises. So you're having your wrists aligned directly under the shoulders, knees are directly under the hips, and now you're going to walk your feet back into that plank pose. Make sure that your back is nice and flat. And start driving those knees either into the elbows, into the triceps, into the midline if you're more intermediate, or if you're a total beginner, you can also do knee drops to the floor. You're just tapping that floor with your knees, keeping your back nice and flat so you're not letting your hips sag and you're not allowing your hips to pike up to the ceiling. If you're more advanced, you can even add a kickback here to your knee drives. Once you do 30 seconds of that, you're immediately going to go into your plank walkout. Notice how I keep my legs nice and straight. We're trying to stretch the entire posterior chain here. Target that core by drawing that belly button to the ceiling as you're walking out, and then pausing at the bottom for a second to really stabilize that plank and get that nice shoulder stability work happening. This is the burn part of the exercise. I haven't talked about that yet, but I'm about to share what we're doing here with each movement. So strength goes first, then we burn, and then we tone. So here is the toning exercise. You're in a hands and knees position. Kick that leg back, squeeze that glute, and then lower yourself into a push-up. Notice how my elbows are going to the back of the room. They're not flaring out to the sides, and I'm just taking my face all the way to the floor. So you're really getting that nice tricep work, glute work, and core work here. Okay, so now that you've finished with 90 seconds of amazing core and upper body work, you get to have a 30-second break again. So again, drink some water, stretch if you need to, and then keep your eye on the clock and start preparing for your next 3 exercises. So we're starting with a reverse lunge, and you can use your dumbbell or you can use no weight. The goal here is to get that back knee all the way to the floor. If you need to put a cushion back there so that you feel more comfortable about that, or double up on your mat, do that. So the goal here is to bend both legs 90 degrees and get that knee all the way down to the floor. This is how you build really good strength in the lower body. You're not allowing yourself to cheat by straightening that back leg and only going halfway down, and definitely not bending forward at the waist or anywhere. And if you want to, you can add a twist to make it a little bit more challenging for the core and get a little bit of extra upper body work. Again, 30 seconds of work. And then you're immediately going to the next exercise, which is the burn exercise. So we're doing a reverse lunge with a knee drive, driving that knee up into that opposite forearm. You can do all your reps on one side, then the other, or you can alternate. You can even add a high kick to this. It depends how much endurance and mobility you have in your hips, and also if your stability is really good, whether you can alternate side to side. Now on this exercise, we're going into a really slow paced curtsy with a balance at the center. On this exercise, you are alternating from side to side, but again, if it's really hard to do that because you don't have good hip and core stability, then you can just focus all your reps on one side and then do your other reps on the other side. All right, so after 90 seconds of really great lunge work, you're gonna take your final 30-second break. And here's where this final circuit is going to be slightly different than the previous 3. You're gonna work for a full 2 minutes. So really enjoy this 30-second break, because 2 minutes of continuous work can be really tough after you've been doing all this stuff. So either place your dumbbells right on your hips. You can just hold them there with your hands, or if you have a sandbag or some other kind of weight, you can just prop it up onto your hips. You're gonna drive those hips up to the ceiling. Make sure that you're keeping those heels down and that you're raising your balls of your feet and toes off the floor. This is really important so that you target the posterior chain and stay away from the thighs and the knees. So if you're feeling it in the knees, you need to adjust your feet. You need to adjust how you're doing this exercise so that you're feeling it on your backside, your low back and core. Again, once you do 30 seconds of work, you're gonna move on to your next exercise, which is a modified side plank hip drive. Notice how straight my back is. Front leg is straight, back leg is bent. That's how it's modified, and you're keeping your heels down. Again, this is really important so that you're targeting the right muscles. You don't want to feel this in your thighs or knees, and definitely don't want to feel it in the shoulders. You should be primarily feeling this in your core and in your glutes. It really takes a lot of effort sometimes to feel exercises where they should be felt. So really take your time with this. If that means doing less reps, that's totally okay. And this is where this exercise is going to be slightly different than all the others. We're actually working 30 seconds on each side. This is the challenge of this particular circuit versus the other 3. I just did that arm movement, by the way, to show that my back is nice and straight and I'm not folding forward from the waist. So this exercise requires a lot of focus, and that's why we're working it for 30 seconds on each side. Finally, you're gonna lay back down on the floor, elevate your feet, and we're going to alternating single leg hip thrusters, or bridges as some people like to call them. It's important to elevate the feet, but if you don't have a ball, a bench, a couch, or a chair, you just don't feel like putting your feet up on the wall to elevate, you can definitely have your feet on the floor. Just make sure that you're really working to get those hips up in the air. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this and that it has been helpful. I will be back with more 12 days of Fitmass soon. Thanks for watching.